welcome to Asbury's Echoes. This is our Flosstube where we mostly talk about cross stitch, and we throw a few other things in now and then because, you know, life isn't all about cross stitch, I guess. And right now we have a couple of baby chicks Drew's wanting to show. Last time we were on here, we had just gotten 4 little babies. And so he wants to show he's just got 2 of them up here because they're harder to contain, but they are growing.
That's Donna.
That's Donna.
I keep wanting to say the rain. It's not the rain. It's Jetta.
And that's Jetta. And they grow so quickly. They go from sweet little babies to they start to look scroungy. And then they go into that adolescent phase where they are adolescents. Just like young kids go through the adolescent phase. They get gawky, and teenagers, the teenage phase. So I think it's time to put them away because they, like I said, they're harder to contain when they get a little bit older. We have 4 right now, and Thursday we're gonna go pick up some more because we don't really need chickens, but chicken math is real. So when you say you only get a couple chickens, you end up with 3 times that, maybe more. No, chicken math. It's not girl math, it's chicken math. Chicken math is real. Okay, first of all, I want to thank everybody because last time we were here, we were hoping to make possibly 1,000 subscribers, but we didn't realize how fast that would happen. It happened fast, and thank you everybody. We really appreciate it. Everybody who's watching and subscribing and liking and commenting. And so at the end of this here, we're going to I think we're going to have a giveaway, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I'm up to 8,000 views on that video.
You're up to 8,000 views on one of your videos. Okay. I don't have a whole lot to share today, really. It's been, up until the last couple 3 days, the weather was so nice, and so we spent a lot of time, like we went to the local, or the county park, Belvedere Park, one whole day, and spent that with our grandkids, my grandkids and daughter, and Drew and my folks, and we went walking and hiking around the pond, and we checked out the old cabin that's out there, and so that was fun. And then another day, my daughter came to the house with the grandkids, and we canned salsa all day. We have freezers full of tomatoes from last fall, and we need to get those processed. We got rid of all of Abby's, and I still have a freezer full, and my mom has a freezer full too. So I'm not sure what's next. We did quite a bit of salsa, and I think maybe I'll do some tomato sauce, and I'm not sure. I'll have to see what we've got and dig out some recipes. But that was fun too. And what else did we do, Drew? We done anything? It's been a while since we've been on here.
Not much.
Yeah, we haven't really done much, but at the same time, I don't have a lot of stuff to show, so I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. Last time I talked about the boxes that we had gone to the antique store that day, and I was looking for something. I don't remember what I was looking for. I think I was looking for an old wooden dough bowl, and I didn't find one, but I did find some boxes that I thought would be fun to cover, to put projects on. And I had found this one, and I wasn't even thinking at the time. It's pretty rough. This one's pretty rough. I wasn't even thinking at the time when I brought it home as to what it was. And then I opened it up and I saw that it said Ottumwa, Iowa, and it said Lane cedar chests. And so I had a lot of comments on the box and on what it was. And I had remembered the story of the Lane cedar boxes, and quite a few of you had too. And these were made by Lane, the Lane company, and they made hope chests. I don't know if girls even have hope chests today. I have my old home chest. It's back in my bedroom. And they used to fill it with, yeah, it's at the foot of the bed. They used to fill it with things that they would need for starting a household after they got married. So, you know, kitchen dish towels and bedding and towels and washcloths and just, you know, things that they would make, like little lace doilies and just all the fun things that girls would need back in the day for their house to get started. And so I kind of did some research because I remembered the story, but I wasn't sure. And Lane they had what was called the girl graduation plan, and so it started in 1925 and they stopped it in 2004. I graduated in 1985 and I did not receive a box, but they said that about that time, right around the 80s, it was harder for the company to get the names and addresses of all the girls because privacy was starting to be a little more of a big deal at that point in time. And so not all the girls later got the cedar chests, got these little Lane chests, but they gave these to the girls on graduation or when they were graduating. They actually didn't get the box. They got a little piece of paper and they were to take it to a specific store that sold Lane cedar chests and they could turn it in for a box. So for this one, they were in Ottumwa, Iowa, and it says Kipple and Depringer, so that must have been the company that was selling these. It was a good promotion for them because especially back when it started, like in the 1925s, they said girls graduated and averaged like within the next 18 months they were married because that's what they did. They graduated high school and then they got married. And so they would go and get their chest, their little one. While they were there, of course, they'd check out all the furniture and hopefully they would buy some things or they would remember to come back to that specific furniture store because they were setting up a home. Unlike today, most girls don't get married right out of high school anymore. And that's how that started. And they distributed, they said, an estimated 27 million of these little boxes. So as I was showing this last time, my mother happened to be watching and she remembered that she had her box. Her box is in much better shape than the other one, than the one I found. This one I will not be doing anything to. This one I will be keeping. This is a keepsake. This was my mom's. It is full of, she's got a graduation tassel in here and some just beautiful, beautiful hankies. I've always thought these were so pretty. So that's in there and those will stay in there. And this one, because my mom graduated from Pekin High School. She lived in Richland. She graduated from Pekin High School. She went to Fairfield, Iowa to pick up her box. And I found it interesting too because these two boxes are not the same. They are both made out of cedar and they did say that at the end some of them were not made out of cedar, but these are not the same. They're different sizes. This one's narrower than this one, but it's taller. I guess I just would have assumed that they would just make the same box, but they didn't. So anyway, I thought that was just kind of an interesting little piece of history. This one I will try and come up with something to put on here. I haven't gotten that far yet. I don't know. I did, on the other hand, for the first time, I had shown this little box, I don't know, quite a while ago. I had found it uptown too at the antique store. It's not very big, but it did say jewelry on the top, and I don't think it's cedar. I don't know, it doesn't really smell. It had said jewelry along the side here, or along the top here. And I, for the first time, laced a project. I had never done that before. I am kind of embarrassed to admit that all these years, and I was scared to death to lace anything. But I laced this and I thought it turned out pretty cute. I put a little, this trim is from Purple Paper Mountain. I don't know if you can see the trim. It's very, very thin trim. I don't know if you can see it. It just, I needed to have something to cover up to make it look a little more finished. And so it's a chenille trim from Purple Paper Mountain on Etsy. And the little boy and girl on the little motifs, those are mine. I designed that. I was just surprised at how simple it was to actually lace something. And what did I watch? Oh, the Twisted Stitcher. That's who I watched. I watched her video, her tutorial. She has a lot of good tutorials that I am hoping to find the time to watch here. But I got the idea from the Log Cabin Stitcher. She had shown some boxes that she had done, and I just thought, oh, fun, a new way to display a cross stitch piece. And so I then watched the Twisted Stitcher, and I always call her the Twisted Sister. That's from my hard rock 80s. The Twisted Sister, the Twisted Stitcher. And she's a lot of fun to watch too, and she's very informative, and it's very easy to follow. And so I hope to do something like this with this. I just have to come up with, I think I'm gonna maybe dig around in my stash of finished, I have like a couple piles of finished things that have never been, things that I've stitched throughout the years that I have never fully finished. And so if I can find something to put on here, I'm hoping to do that now that I know how easy it is to lace. What are you doing? Digging? Okay. So that was one thing I did do. And the other thing I showed last time, I showed these planter plates that I had picked up at the antique store. They're plastic. I don't know if they go on all kinds of different planters or if specific ones go on specific models or what. But again, Mom called and says, hey, your dad has a bunch of those planter plates. So I'm sure that these go on a John Deere planter, because that's what I grew up with, was the old John Deeres. We had the old John Deeres, John Deere A, John Deere B. And so Dad gave me these, but these are pink. I'm not sure. They're kind of a cool color. These are pink and dirty. You know, they were used in those old planters. And I had found these up at the antique store. I cleaned this one up. This was the red one. There were blue and green, and I think there was kind of an orangey color. And this is the one this is what I did with the yellow one. I don't know if you can see me. This was a punch needle. I'm not very good. Don't look too close. I'm still not the best punch needle person in the world, but I'm trying. I thought he turned out cute. He is called, the pattern was Everywhere a Chick by Flew the Coop Punch Needle Embroidery. And it was supposed to be a real small. It was supposed to be a lot smaller than this, and they were finishing them and using them as coasters. I just wanted something. I just wanted to see what it would look like to put something in one of these planter plates. I think it looks very, maybe not so prim, maybe more farmhouse. I don't know. I just like to try and recycle and repurpose, and I thought it turned out kind of cute. And he did get, he got a coffee bath last night because he was bright. He was really, really bright. Yeah, you needed one, didn't you? You needed a bath. And the planter plates are not near as bright as they're showing up. They're really showing up bright on the screen there. So that was that. And what else did I do? That was about, don't have haul. I very rarely do I have haul. I did get a couple of patterns, and this one, they're both from Cinnamon Creek Folk Art. I love her stuff. Drew Ann Jeffries is her name. I just love her stuff. I don't know if and or when I'll get to this one, I've been wanting to try and, you know, I did the chickens, I did the stitching chickens, and I did get one finished. Darn it, Drew, I should have pulled that one out. I had two finished quite a while ago, and I did just get one more finished. I've got one left to go, and I know what I'm going to put on it, how I'm going to do it, but I haven't gotten it done yet. So this is called Millie's Sheep. I do not think I have the material that I will need to make Millie's Sheep here, but that's something I want to try. I haven't done a lot of stuffed things like this, but I want to give it a try. And she just came out with this one, and I just love this. I don't do rug hooking. I would like to, but oh my gosh, the expense, and there's no place around here to learn. I know I could watch YouTube videos, but I just don't have time to do everything. And so this is punch needle, and I just love this. Now she does the punch needle, but she uses the back to display. So when you punch something, I can't really show the back of this, it's really bad. I haven't covered it yet. Anyway, this is where you work. So when you're punching, this is what you see when you're punching. And if you want to see the front, you have to turn it over to see how it's working. So this is the front. That's where the little loops are. But she likes the way the back looks. And so I'm gonna have to really try and figure out how to do this, because the back has to look nice. So instead of worrying about the front, I will worry about the back when I do this. I'm not sure when I will get to this one. I also have another one of hers, and it's a sheep, and it's the same thing, but it's much smaller. So I think I'll practice on the sheep before I do this one. This one's called Ezra's Farm. And since I can't do rug hooking, this reminds me of rug hooking. So I'm going to, that key, Grandma knew, she didn't know if that key went to that box or not. It was just in there.
No, that worked. There's like 20.
Oh, there was more than one. Okay.
No,
She didn't know what those little keys went to, so I don't know. So anyway, that's gonna be my goal someday, is to be able to punch something like this and have it worthy of display, because I just think that was gorgeous. It's, I don't know, the colors and the horse and the bird, and we'll see if I think I'm able to do that or not. So that leaves me with the little bit of cross stitch that I have done. And I did do this one the other day. Somebody had asked me, and I don't remember who it was. Somebody had asked me if I could make a word pillow that said needle worker. And cross stitcher or needle worker. I did needle worker. I might do cross stitcher too. I don't know. If anybody's interested, please let me know. And I can make one that says cross stitcher. And this one I put primitive up here. So it says primitive needle worker. And I did hang a couple charms. There's an antique sewing machine and a pair of scissors. And I think those came from Amazon. I don't remember for sure. I've had them a while, but most of my charms came from Amazon. This, like everything else, was done on the Nate Berkus fabric that I tend to almost always use. It was stitched 1/2, and what else? I coffee dyed it, coffee and walnut crystal stained it after stitching. Before I'd already stitched it into the pillow. It just wasn't stuffed yet when I coffee dyed it. There's a little needle and thread down there. So that is trying to see. Oh, I don't know what that said. So anyway, that is the one I put in. It is in the Etsy shop if anybody's interested. And if anybody would like to see one that says cross stitcher, I will gladly work up one that says cross stitcher too. I thought that turned out nice. And this one, what?
Time so I can go antique store to get another one of these.
No, we're not going to the antique store today. Why? You want one too?
Yeah, if it locks.
Oh, if it locks. They probably aren't going to lock, honey. This is one I just put in the shop, the Etsy shop, and it says motherhood. All love begins and ends there. And again, same thing, Nate Berkus, 1/2, coffee and walnut crystal stained after I dyed it. I really need to branch out. I do the same thing with everything. I debated about putting a trim. I still might. I haven't decided yet. I know I have some of the blue that would match the purple paper mountain that I really like. So I may or may not. I haven't decided yet. But there's that one. And that one I just put in the shop this morning. And then the other thing that I did, and I know, was it last week we talked about? I can't remember. Or last time we were on here. I think I showed, yes, I had used the buttons. And I'd made the pillow with the buttons with the beehive and the flowers. And the buttons come from my Stitching Piece, P-E-A-C-E, store on Facebook. So if anybody is wanting to purchase the buttons to make the pillow, they go to just go to Facebook and look up My Stitching Piece store. And she, Jean, will just contact Jean and she will set you right up. And so I got some of these quilt block buttons, these primitive quilt block buttons that she makes, and they are they're like a 9-patch. These buttons are fun. They're really nice. She makes them herself. They're clay, and they look very primitive. So she's got lots of different colors. Maybe it'll look better over there. I don't know. There's that one. It's more orange, and this one's more of a red. And of course, there's a blue one. I don't have it out here. Probably because I use the blue ones, because blue's my favorite color. I've got other buttons in here too I'm going to use, but I'm not going to show those quite yet. And what I came up with was this trio. And you see the buttons are they're just fun. So this one says quilt block. And again, these are all stitched on the Nate Berkus fabric from Joanne Fabric. And this one I did put some of that little teeny trim. I don't know if you can see it. The stuffing, I have to finish the back yet. If you can see it, it's real thin, really, really thin. And it's done 1/2, and I copy dyed it. And then there's this one, and this one is the blues. It's got the purple paper mountain trim. And the little chicken that's hopping off the square there.
I like that one.
You like this one? That one turned out really cute. I have to tell you that this one, every time I see it, don't know why, but I think of Purina Feeds. I don't know if it's the color of the block. I need to look up and see what the Purina Feeds, and it's probably not even close to the Purina Feeds emblem. I don't know, but every time I see it, I think Purina Feeds. And so maybe that's why I was thinking farm type theme, because you know, Purina Feeds reminds me, or these blocks remind me of Purina Feeds. And then the third one is the barn, and
it's red and white plaid.
Red and white plaid. Okay, so that's why. Okay, and then this one's the barn, and there's a little chicken weather vane. Of course, what chickens are my thing.
That's what that is.
Yeah, it's the weather vane on top of the barn.
What's it do?
And there's some sunflowers down here. And this barn is when we first moved out here, we had a barn that sat right out there, and it was in really bad shape when we moved out here. It was not really worth fixing, but it
Still have
sat
it.
there for quite some time, and we finally tore it down.
I wish we still had it.
And so this just reminds me of that barn. It wasn't this big. It was it was not that it was falling down. Otherwise we would have tried to save it, but this reminds me. Dad wants to build a barn.
Yeah, he buys a tractor and then he wants to build a barn for the tractor.
Well, if he does that, then we can maybe get some goats. We'll see. That's wishful thinking. Anyway, that is the extent of my stitching this time around. I haven't gotten a whole lot done. So there's these 3, and they're sold as a set. And again, the patterns are in my Etsy shop. The buttons are from Jean at My Stitching Piece Store, Peace. She is also on Instagram, and she is there under Button Jean, Gean, Button Jean 56. So if you want to follow her there, you can follow her there too. And I'm sure you can messenger through Instagram too if you want her buttons. So there will be more. I'm going to work on some more of the button designs just because I think they're fun, something different. There will be a lot of things that don't have buttons too, you know, just simple ones. But if you like the buttons, watch because there will be more. And I think that is it for what I have worked on. I know I said it's going to be a short one because I didn't have a whole lot. I know I had somebody ask me if I could do a tutorial on how I put the trim on, and I can do that. I will try. I don't know that I do it right. I don't know that there's a right or wrong, but I can show how I put mine on. Maybe we'll do that next time. We'll see. And I had somebody ask me, and I need to remember when I dye something. They wanted to know, because I did the dyed tutorial, and they wanted to know after they were dyed and then when they dried how much different it looks. So I will try and do that. I will try and remember next time I dye something, I'll take a picture of the before, I'll take a picture of it when it comes out of the dye bath, and then I'll take a picture of it when it is dry, so you can see it does lighten up. So if you dyed something and you think, oh my gosh, it's darker than I thought it would be, give it a little bit of time and it should lighten up a little bit. It won't lighten up a whole lot, but it will lighten up a little bit. And one other thing, and I should have said this and I didn't think to, because I've just done these things for so long and I just don't, I'm trying to learn how to think the process through so I can talk about it. The coffee dye is not permanent. And I know I mentioned last time with my one little sampler that I had left it laying out on the dining room table before I had gotten it framed. And Drew had been drinking some water with a straw and he got some water droplets on it. And they show. And I decided that was fine. It was okay. To me, it just looked a little more primitive and it kind of tells a story. You know, Mom should not have left something laying out on the dining room table if I was worried about something happening to it, but I did, and it did happen. And that dye is not permanent. The walnut crystal is. The coffee dye, it won't come completely out, but if you get water on it, or if you're using an iron and you missed it or something, that's going to show. So just bear that in mind when you do these things. The RIT dye. Now, if you definitely want it to be permanent, you could try the RIT dye. And I have used RIT dye, but I've always mixed it with my coffee and my walnut crystals too. I do have some projects. I have a couple of pillows that have big old wet spots because somehow or other they got wet. I'm not sure how.
I showed me a doll.
I know I have one, not today. I know I have one Christmas one. It was a Stacy Nash and it was a kit, and it's one of my favorite things. And it's got the prettiest antique tinsel around it, and it's got big old water spot. I have no idea how that happened. No idea. But to me, it just gives it more character. It looks more prim. But bear that in mind because it will show if they do get wet if you're using the coffee dye. So now I think I'm done. I think that was all I was going to talk about. 1,000 viewers. We got 1,000 viewers. Subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. See, it just floors me that people watch because I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. I don't understand the whole subscriber, ring the bell, all that, the logarithm. Is that what it's called? Logarithm? All that stuff. Anyway, we reached over 1,000 viewers last time. So we are going to offer, we're gonna have a giveaway and we're going to draw 3 names, and each person's name who is drawn gets to pick a free pattern from the Etsy shop. Sound good? Whichever pattern you would like. So to do that, we are going to have you comment down below and use the word spring because today's the first day of spring. So happy spring, everybody.
Yay.
Yeah, the sun is shining. It's a little chilly out there, but it's not bad. It could be worse. Sounds like we might be getting snow by the end of the week, so we will enjoy the day while we have it. And we'll enjoy the snow too if we get it, because I love the snow this time of the year because, you know, it's beautiful and it's not going to stay. So
Speak for yourself. I don't want any snow.
I love snow. I don't mind it. And when I know that it's not here forever, that it's going to be here and it'll just melt away, I don't mind it at all. So anyway, we'll draw 3 names, and I guess, what was I going to say? Oh, we do it the old-fashioned way because I haven't learned how or don't know how to do the random drawing or the picker through. I don't have a program, any of that stuff. I don't know. I'll write down everybody's names that use the word spring in their comment, and then we'll draw 3 names next time, and hopefully it will be next week. I was supposed to do this last week, but we ran out of time, and so hopefully next week. And I think that's it. Did you have anything else?
I didn't this time.
I think your babies have calmed down.
No, they haven't.
They're not quite as worked up as they were. So that is it for today. And thank you, everybody. Please, what is it, like,
subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. Click the bell so you get notified every time we upload.
Okay, like, subscribe, click the bell to get the notifications every time we upload. And happy spring. And goodbye.